Let's continue on with this example where we have modified the table. And I want to introduce a new statement called describe table. The describe statement can be used to find out information about the contents of an internal table. This includes a number of records the table holds, the reserved memory space used, and the type of table, if it's a standard table, sorted table, or hash table. But in the years I've been using ABAP, I've only ever seen this statement used to find out how many records exist in an internal table. So let's concentrate on that one. Now the way we do this is very simple. We just type describe table, which is the actual statement, followed by our internal table, which in this case is itab01. Then we want to know the number of records. So what we do is use the addition of lines. Then we have to tell the system how we want to store this value. So let's use a new variable called line count. And up here, I'll make sure we have a data statement called line count with a type I. So this statement will return an integer value that represents the number of lines contained in our internal table. And the value will be stored in the variable we defined. So why would you want to know this? Well, we have covered the append statement in a previous module. So you should know that the append statement only adds lines to the end of a table. Now instead of using append, we could use the insert statement. Now the insert statement allows us to insert records into any position we choose inside an internal table by specifying the table index number. If we wanted to insert a record into an internal table at record number 10, for example, we would specify index 10, which would then insert our new record between the 9th and 10th record. And we would do this simply like this. We declare the insert statement. The internal table we're going to insert a record into. Then we specify the index number of the record that we want to insert our new record into. And this is where we can use our line count, which holds, in this case, the total number of records in our table. Therefore, the result of these two statements, the describe and the insert in this case, the system will insert a record before the last record in the internal table. So like I said, if there's 10 records, line count will hold a value of 10. The new record is inserted between the 9th and 10th record. And that's why our new record would be inserted one record before the end of the table. Okay, now I've got those silly bugs out of the way. I'm just going to edit this a little bit so this program makes a bit more sense. And what I'm going to do is move this loop to finish here. And once we've gone through every record, we'll then come on to these two statements. So I'm going to set breakpoint. And we'll debug it and see how all this works. So we've looped through itab. I'll double click it and you can see we have 5 records still. And if we have a look at the value of line count right now, it's 0. So we'll execute this row of code. And now it's telling us we have 5 records. Then we come to the insert statement. And if I flip back to itab01, and we'll just scroll down so we can see what happens here. Now remember, our header record has this value in it, 1, lots of zeros and 6. And this is a standard table, so we are allowed duplicates. So when the insert statement gets executed, hopefully it's going to insert a line right here. Now it's going to be difficult to see because the record's exactly the same as the fifth one. So what I'm going to do is change this header record. I'm going to change the value of some of the fields just a little bit so that you can see the record being inserted. So I'll change employee number to 7. Oops, I pressed the wrong one by the looks of things. Here we go. And let's change surname to Stevens. Okay, back to the fields. We'll have a look at the table. Go to the top. Now we can see our header record has the 1, lots of zeros and 7, and the surname is equal to Stevens. So now we will insert this header record into the table at position 5, which, if you remember, is the total number of records in our table. So we'll execute it. Oh, silly me, I didn't have anything after. Let's run it again. Do apologise for that. So once again, there's line count. Go 1 line of code down. It now contains 5 records. We will have a look at iTab 01. We'll go in and amend the header record again, which is this one. So if I just come down here and say iTab 01, surname, iTab 01, employee. Change that to blogs. And this one I'll change to 7. Oops. 7 there. So if we have a look at the internal table, there's our header record with the new data we've just added. Scroll down. And then when it executes the insert statement, we should have another record inserted here. And this record should be moved down 1 position. And there we go. That's the insert statement.